Good morning everyone. I am Chandanmal along with my teammates Bhupen Sharma and Deepak Singh. We are going to present our final year project presentation under the supervision of Assistant Professor Archana Sharma. Our group ID is 39 and project title is I-Voting, a two-factor authentication. So let's discuss about our project. I-Voting is an online voting technique. It is based on the other online services like online reservation system. In this system, people who have citizenship of India and whose age is above 18 years can cast his vote online without going to the any polling booth. In I-voting, a voter can use his or her voting right online without any difficulty. All the entry is checked by the database which has already all information about the voter. The I-voting project is to design, implemented and validate the internet-based online voting system that will exhibit as many of the following characteristics as possible to make voting a fearless of violence and that increase the percentage of voting. Voter can cast their vote from any place in the country in highly secured way. Online voting system project is implemented in Python platform using pgadmin database as backend. Using this system, citizen of India can vote through online without visiting polling booth. A centralized database is maintained by Election Commission where citizen information is maintained. When every citizen is using online voting system, his information is authenticated with the data present in the database. If user is not in the list, he can't use online voting system. Once a person casts his vote with proper authentication, re-voting will be prohibited. Once the voting is over, all the counting will be done online and result will be displayed. Voter has registered him to vote manually. Registration is mainly done by the system administrator for the security reason. After registration, the voter is assigned a secret login ID and password. When voter can log in into the system, he enters the login ID and the password. If these are correct, then redirected to the OTP validation. Here a OTP is sent to the voter's registered mobile number. If voter enter the correct OTP, then he get the access to cast his vote. Now as we know that the problem statement of our project, let's see the paper on which we have built our project foundation. This paper which we have mentioned here has helped us the most to in building and understanding our project foundation. Biometrically secured electronic voting machine. It can identify each voter with their fingerprint by using the database. It can avoid the proxy voting, but the problem that is associated with it is that make the clone of the fingerprint is possible and people need to go to the polling station to cast their votes. Number 2. Electronic voting machine with enhanced security. At present, our election commission use it for the elections. In it, the EVM electronic voting machine is associated with the VVPAT, voter verifiable paper audit trail. For to verify the number of votes that will be counted by the EVM, they also can count the number of paper audits. But the problem that is associated with it is that voter need to go to the polling station to cast their vote and also it is time consuming process. Number 3. Online voting based on Aadhaar ID. In it, voter can enter the Aadhaar number and then he can scan the QR code is generated for the vote casting. Voter can scan the QR code with their smartphone and cast their vote. But the problem that is associated with it is if someone knows the Aadhaar number of other, then he can cast the vote. Number 4. Web-based voting system using fingerprints. It can identify each voter with their fingerprint by using the database. Voter can cast their vote online without going to any physical polling station. But the problem that is associated with it is that making clone of fingerprint is possible and it can take more time to scan the fingerprints. Now we will discuss about our proposed solution. Basically our portal is divided into two parts. One is for admin and one is for voter. There are some properties of admin are admin is the verified person who can add the voters and the candidate. Admin can schedule a election and admin can also publish the result of the election. And there are some properties of the voter. Here voter is the important person to vote the particular candidate. The voter is verified user authorized by the admin or registration process. Voter can just only see the result of the election. Here, here we can see the flow diagram of our project.
Now next, let's see the implementation and the coding part of our project. This is the coding part of our project for the admin and for the voter. Now next, let's implement our project. This is our iVoting website. By clicking on login button, voter or the administrator can log in on their dashboards. Now I can log in on administrator dashboard. For that, administrator need to enter his username and password. This is the OTP validation page. Here, administrator need to validate the OTP. Means he needs to enter the OTP that can be provided on his registered email or mobile number. Now OTP is getting matched. This is our administrator dashboard. Here, administrator can add a voter by just clicking on add voter button. If he want to off the status of a voter, then by just clicking on status button, he can off the status of the voter. Even the voter is registered on the database, If the status of the voter is off, then he can't cast his vote. And by clicking on this button, administrator can change the password of any voter. By clicking on party information button, admin can add a party type, national or local. Even he can add the party logo and party name, email ID, state, and phone number of the party. By clicking on candidate information, admin can add a candidate. Admin can also update the detail of the candidate and the voter. For to schedule the election, admin can enter the election information button. Then he click on add election. He need to type the name of the election, type of the election, and date of the election. Now we can see that the election is getting appear here named as local. When the election is getting over, admin can publish the result of the election by clicking on result button. Now we can move to the voter dashboard. Here, voter need to enter the secret user ID and password which can be provided by the system administrator at the time of the registration. This is the OTP validation page. Here, voter need to enter the OTP that can be provided on their registered mobile number. OTP is getting matched. Now he can log in on the voter dashboard. Here, voter can cast his vote. When we click on elections button,
As we can see that here is the link to cast the vote. User or the voter can cast their vote according to their interest. As we can see here, the vote casting link is getting disappear from here after casting the vote. It means that a single voter can cast only one vote. And here in result section, the result is visible when the administrator can publish the result of the election.
Now, for to publish the result of the election, we can log in on the administrator dashboard. This is the result of the election that is visible on both on the admin portal and on the voter dashboard.
Now we will discuss the advantages of our project. Our project can reduce the workload, information available at any time. It provides security for the data. This is a simple, safe and secure method that takes minimum of time. This method of web voting can provide security and no proxy voting can be done. It can be helpful for NRIs people. Voter can cast their vote from any place in the country in a highly secured way. Increased number of voters as individuals will find it easier and more convenient to vote.
Now, we will discuss about the conclusion and the limitations of our project. This online voting system will manage the voter's information by which voter can log in and use his voting rights. The system will incorporate all features of voting system. It provides the tools for maintaining voters vote to every party and it count total number of votes of every party. There is a database which is maintained by the Electoral Commission in which all the names of voter with complete information is stored. Generally, voting has to be performed by user by going to the voting center. Many users like army person or NRI can't come to the voting place. Therefore, we have to implement a online voting system by which the user can vote over the online. It is one of the greatest advantage for NRI and person who go outside the country. They can vote online by using our website. There are some limitations of our project. It requires the good internet connectivity. Every voter should have a smart gadget like laptop, desktop, tablet, etc. Every voter should have unique identities like Aadhaar card and voter ID card. Every voter should have registered in the voting portal. Every voter must have brief knowledge of voting system.